B.J. Armstrong, B.J. with the J. No good, but that's okay. Michael's there to clean it up and put it back. Also starring the other dream teamer on the court. Not just Scottie Pippen, but Mullen, too, the rainbow jumper. And then runs off his man and hits the J. Mullen had 20 at the break. The Warriors up 2. Second half, Jordan gives Chicago the lead with a 3. And more Michael. Backing down Jeff Greer, whoever they put on him. Couldn't stop. Who can stop that? Bulls by 7. Now it's Michael on the other end. Defensively, trying to stop Mullen, but he doesn't stop the runner off the window. The Warriors within 1 late in the game. But Michael says, my turn, takes over with the jumper. Jordan on this road trip on fire, averaging 42 on the West Coast. And the Bulls win again. What a surprise. They scored 12 of the last 15 to win by 9. MJ just 49 points. Third straight game over 40. He's averaging 35 per for the 9-2 Bulls. Mullen had 32. Golden State still the only team in the league without a win at home. The only unbeaten team in the league, Portland hosting Tark and the Spurs. Vinny Del Negro, the alley-oop to David. The Admiral at 22. The Spurs by 1 at the break, but it's Clyde time in Rip City. Drexler steps out, unguarded, takes the 3 and hits it. Closing in on a milestone, 15,000 points, and he becomes the 14th active player to reach that milestone with that hoop. Not just the starters, but the bench as well. Mario Elie over Antoine Carr's arm and down on his head. Big dunk, and Tark doesn't want to see it, but look up, Tark. Things would come back. No, not because of Cliff Robinson. He was having a great game for the Blazers. Spins and hits the 2. How about another jumper? Mr. Robinson was in the building, but it's another Mr. Robinson's neighborhood in Portland. Antoine Carr, big game. Watch this nice up and under move. Up and under. For 2 of his 24, the Spurs within a couple, but give and go. Drexler to Robinson. It's a 2-point Blazer lead. Time running down, good defense. David Robinson gets the rebound, the outlet to Lloyd Daniels. This will tie the game with the layup. One problem. It didn't go in. A night Lloyd would soon forget, consoled by David Robinson, as the Spurs lose by 4. The first time this year the Blazers held under 100. Still, they are unbeaten. 8-0. Clyde had 24. Cliff Robinson, career best. 23 points and 9 boards. Uncle Cliffy. McKee to Sean Kemp. But a little spin for 2 of his 25 points. This game was close until the 4th when the Sonics go on a 15-6 run. Kenny Anderson only made 4 field goals for 13 shots off his miss. Dana Barrows comes away to Eddie Johnson for the layup. Johnson had 14 of his 16 in the last 12 minutes. In Seattle, wins by 6. Gary Payton, career-high 25.
The Rockets have returned to the mainland on a roll. One positive thing that may have come from the 14-hour flight to Japan was a discussion between Akeem Olajuwon and owner Charlie Thomas, where they say the lines of communication were once again open. But Akeem says he still wants to be traded. Rockets hosting the Clippers, and Rudy says don't trade him, not with this team on a roll, going for their 6th straight. Olajuwon with a block and another block in the opening quarter. Sleepy Floyd knocked Opie by John Williams. It was a tough, physical game. Late second quarter, Clippers by 1. Elmore Spencer with a swipe. Gets it to Mark Jackson. And on the other end, Spencer sets up for the shot, misses, but Kenny Norman is there for the follow, and the Clippers lead by 1 at the break. Second half, Rockets start to pull away. Sleepy Floyd working his way in and flips it up, and the Rockets take a 5-point lead. That's down to 1 in the third quarter. Olajuwon on the alley-oop, so the Rockets back up 3. Final seconds, Clippers down 3. Kiki Vandeweghe, the iron. Downright rude, as that could have tied it. The Rockets go on to win at 88-83. They've won 6 straight and 13 straight against the Clippers in Houston. Olajuwon finishing with 20 points and 13 rebounds. Ken Norman had 15 boards for the Clips. The Sixers and the Hornets going at it. Larry Johnson driving. Clarence Weatherspoon, the rookie, rejecting the shot. Alonzo Mourning with an air ball. Alan Bristow looking somewhere else for offense and finding it in Del Curry. He throws up the 3 ball, and that goes. And then Curry, a turnaround jumper over Hornacek. He had 22. Charlotte getting the offense from Curry and the defense from David Wingate, keeping Tim Perry from the one-handed stick. Wingate also on offense with a drive of his own. He hit 10 of 11 from the floor, and in 41 minutes scored 23. A little showtime to finish it off as the Hornets win their 4th straight. Wingate also had 9 assists. Hersey Hawkins led the Sixers with 24. Weatherspoon did leave the game with a twisted ankle. The Bullets and the Knicks going at it in New York. Pat Riley benched 3 of his starters. It's all about blue skies and winning, he says. John Starks didn't play in this game. Gugliotta missing the jumper. At the other end, Gugliotta slow getting back, so Charles Smith takes advantage for the quick two. Doc Rivers, nice drive to the hoop for Pat Riley's team. And gets the roll. Then Rivers, the drive over Charles Jones. He had 10 points. Bullets still up by 1 at halftime. Third quarter, Harvey Grant, the jumper and the foul from Charles Smith. Grant had 24. And then the nice pass to Jones for the slam. The Knicks still by 2 after 3. Fourth quarter, all Knicks. Greg Anthony, the bullet pass to Ewing, who's there. He had 28 points and 18 rebounds and hit the boards hard. Anthony Mason, hoop and some harm. The Knicks pull away in the final moments and win it by 10. They're now 5-0 at home. They score under 100 points for the 6th straight game. They, of course, lead the league in defense. Michael Adams did have a couple three-pointers, giving him 794 for his career, tying him for the all-time pro record with Louis Dampier. Maybe a little something you did not know. And Alvin Robertson, part of the stealing department, a big-time thief. Second quarter, he knocks the ball away from Gerald Wilkins and takes it for the easy stick. And then you see the quick hands of Robertson working on Larry Nance as he strips away the rebound. Robertson with 3 steals on Tuesday night. Lenny Wilkins ready to call arena security. Third quarter, Robertson displaying the passing here. Eric Murdoch hits. Robertson had 7 assists. The Bucks had an 8-point lead on Cleveland, but then Mark Price to Gerald Wilkins. Nice dish. Wilkins had 22. Fourth quarter, Price throwing up the 3-ball. Then the game tied at 1:05. You see how much time remaining. Price down the lane and, wow, gets it to go. The game-winning shot as the Cavs pull away to win it 109 to 105. He finished with 24. Milwaukee had 10 steals. The Cavs record 2-4. Since Brad Daugherty went out, he's not expected back until next week. The Heat and the Pacers at Market Square Arena. Bimbo Coles in the top 10 in assists and gets another as Alec Kessler gets that to go. 6 assists for Coles on Tuesday night. Rick Smits doing a little dishing. Reggie Miller led all scorers with 20. The Pacers extend the lead. Smits another assist. Detlef Schrempf gets that to go. And Smits from Tiny Marist College gets that to Dale Davis. In fact, they went to the NCAA tournament with Smits in the picture. This time he's on the scoring end as Rick Smits matched his career-high 16 rebounds, 5 assists, has not won. Blazers and Suns, and KJ fired up about it. The takedown, but Terry Porter's the one who got hit with the technical. KJ was just named a National Caring Award member. On the other end, Jerome Kersey with a slam dunk. The Blazers by 2. Charles Barkley lit it up, beating the triple team here and getting the jumper to fall. He had 20 points in the first half. And then Barkley on defense. Kevin Duckworth going to the hole, but no chance. Charles shoves it back down. The Suns led by 6 at the break. Third quarter, Drexler the three-pointer. He scored 36 in the fourth quarter. Strickland, watch this, a great pass. Porter goes right by Chambers, who was standing there to tie the game at 95. And then Barkley down the stretch. That's why the Suns got him. Off the cushion, 33 points, 18 rebounds, and the Suns win one they really wanted, out-rebounding Portland 61 to 50. Drexler hit 11 of 13 from the floor, but only 11 of 22 from the free throw line. After their loss, the Blazers will play the Lakers next on Friday in Rip City. Speaking of the Lakers, the Nets have not won in Los Angeles in 14 years. Nets in town, Chris Morris for 2 and a 3-point New Jersey lead. Anthony Peeler answering for the Lakers and then telling Chuck, nice suit. Fourth quarter, Drazen Petrovic loses it. Sadeo 3 gets it, and Tony Smith with a slam dunk, as Chick would say. Lakers have the lead, but then Drazen hits the jumper with 1:15 to go. Nets up by 2. 30 seconds left, New Jersey by 4. Chucky Brown loses it. Worthy to Perkins. Lakers down 2. Coleman missed 2 free throws. 3 seconds left. Worthy to 3. The air ball. Smith follows for the tie. Lakers can't get it done. L.A. could use a few good men. Nets win at 198. Lakers losing to New Jersey at home for only the second time in 20 games. Kenny Anderson had 20 for the Nets. Tony Smith led the Lakers with 17. They really missed Byron Scott. The Clippers playing in Dallas. Mark Jackson, the star for Los Angeles. On the break, getting it to Danny Manning, who throws it in. Again, an assist. Jackson tying a team record with 9 assists in the first quarter. Then in the third quarter, Manning didn't need many assists as he lit it up, hitting 6 of 7 in the quarter. I don't know who's covering him here. It looks like maybe the mall police were on him, because Manning had a season-high 31 points in the game and bringing back Kansas memories for Larry Brown and Danny Manning as Brown moves to within 1 win of 400 career victories in the NBA. Harper had 16, Roberts 14 as the Clips defeat Dallas 130-112. The Spurs and the Jazz going at it at the Delta Center, and Lloyd Daniels with a three-ball that goes. Then Dale Ellis hitting the three-pointer. Ellis again, he scored 19, and San Antonio lighting it up. Robinson to Daniels for another three. Lloyd Daniels scoring 18 in the game. Even Sean Elliott getting in on it. The Spurs hit 6 three-pointers in the first half, and then they play a little D with Antoine Carr rejecting Karl Malone. Tarkanian excited about the win as the Spurs take it 128-102, winning in Utah for the first time in 18 games. Carr had 21 points and 10 rebounds.
Big-time center at home against Houston and Akeem Olajuwon. Head-to-head for the first time between these two, and in the early going, they both showed each other what they can do on the defensive end. First the Shaq, and then Akeem gets Shaq back. This time, Akeem gets Shaquille to commit in the air, and a little up and under move. The Rockets down 4 at the break, but in the fourth quarter, game tied. Akeem on the bench, and Carl Herrera gets used by the Shaq, who didn't have that big a game. It was the other players who had the big game, including Scott Skiles. Jumper from 16, then using the O'Neal pick for the jumper, 2 of his season-high 30, and Dennis Scott, who's been on fire this season, helped out. Left open on the outside with Shaq doing the damage on the inside. It was an 11-0 run with Scott and Skiles doing the damage, and Scott Skiles and Dennis Scott help Orlando beat Houston by 13. The head-to-head won by Akeem statistically with the 22 points, but they each had 13 boards. This snaps the Rockets' 6-game win streak, their first loss in America this year. They lost 2 in Japan. That's Robert Parrish, moved into the 3rd place in the NBA most games played category, and showed Tom Gugliotta a thing or two as the Celtics were hosting the Bullets. The Chief had 16 points and 10 boards. There's Googs with 1 back, 2 of his 17, but this night would belong to D. Brown, who's been struggling of late. A dunk there for 2 of his 22. And watch this great pass to the Chief. Hail to him and give it to him. D had 16 assists, and the Celtics break out of a dismal slump. Winning by 38, they scored 150 points to snap a 6-game slide, their longest in 13 years. D. Brown, a career-high 16 assists. That 150, the most points Washington has ever given up. They played without Michael Adams, Purvis Ellison, and Rex Chapman. Charlotte in Detroit to take on the Pistons, and Dennis Rodman back from his mini suspension, doing what he does best. Watch the worm, box out LJ, and get the board to start the break. This looks a little bit like the old Pistons. Isaiah to Bill Lane Bear is going to spot up. He always gets that open space and always hits the jumper. Really did look like the old Pistons early. Watch Zeke. The good bounce pass. You catch it? Nope. Dennis has it. Using the window for 2. Rodman again on the drive, but this time Alonzo Mourning says, get out of here. The rookie had 5 blocks, and the Hornets come back. Del Curry had 21 in the second half, 26 for the game, but despite the return of Rodman, same old thing for the Pistons. They lose. Charlotte has won 5 in a row, their first win ever at the Palace, and they are 3 games over 500. That's never happened before as they beat Detroit by 4. Cleveland in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks, and the Cavs had trouble on offense. First quarter, John Williams loses the ball. Alvin Robertson finds it to Blue Edwards, who's really thriving in Mike Dunleavy's system. Bucks up 9 early. In the second, it's Robertson again. The steal, and he gets it back. Gets an easy 2. The Bucks led by 14, and Lenny Wilkins looking for Brad Daugherty to come back or for any help from anyone. The Cavs do make a run in the third. Nice alley-oop from Mark Price to Larry Nance. The lead cut down to 4, but in the fourth, for the second straight game, it's Brad Lohaus with the big hoops down the stretch, and then on the other end of this steal, seals it. Lohaus had 8 in the fourth quarter. The Cavs shoot just 40% from the field. That's the 5th time Milwaukee has held an opponent to 40% or less from the field. Cleveland wins by 9. That's Cleveland's lowest point total of the season. Chris? First quarter, as a reserve, nice reverse layup. Starks had 20, and he sparked the Knicks to a 21-4 run for Pat Riley. Watch Greg Anthony, nice feed. Count the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Patrick Ewing on the way to the dunk, and a season-high 30. Knicks led by 9. The only thing that kept the T-Wolves in it, Leitner, who had a career-high 29. The lead was 6, but the Knicks pull away into the third. That is Starks. That's 3, and that's good. Beating the clock, and the Knicks beat the T-Wolves 99-78. That's a 3rd straight win. Knicks improve on the best defense statistically in the NBA. Ewing did leave at the end of this game with a bruised hip, said to be nothing serious. Atlanta at Philadelphia, early going. It's Moreland Wiley to Paul Graham, and Snoopy with the slam. Doug Moe, good threads. Not a good game from his team. Late in the fourth, down 3 was Philadelphia, and Dominique with the icing. A 3, and Nick had 27 as Philly wins by 6. Percy Hawkins, 27 for the Sixers. Tim Perry had a season-high 17, but not enough. In Miami, Heat and Pacers, second of a home-and-home. Early moments, more injury news. John Salley pulls a hamstring, at least aggravates it. We'll have to check on the injury as the week goes on. They're without Cycli and Burton and Smith, so it's up to the other guys like Bimbo Coles. 2 of his 22 points, he also had 14 assists. Want to see one? Here it comes. Bimbo, the alley-oop to Glenn Rice. Right hand, one-hand slam. Heat by 12. Coles and Rice hook up one more time. Rice with the 3. He had 28 points and 17 rebounds, which was important without Cycli and Salley. As a matter of fact, in the loss to the Pistons the prior night, the battle of the boards was won by Indiana in a big way. This time, Miami had 20 more boards and won the game. And in Denver, Chris Jackson, who's averaging 21 a game, scored 23. The Nuggets win by 15. Mitch Richmond shot 6 of 22. Sacramento sent Vincent Askew to Seattle for a 1993 second-round pick. Chris?